Hello, everyone. It's bonus stuff. We just got done reviewing The Creator, so go check that out. If you tell us what you thought of the movie if you got to see it. But there was some big news this past week, and that is the end of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
After about after about 5 months. Here's what my theory is. They saw that those late night comedians were going to create a podcast, and they're like, no, we cannot have that. So, I mean, those guys have 15 to 20 writers, and they still can't write a good joke, so pretty bad. But as soon as this news hit, I mean, it was like a millisecond after, they announced a reboot of The Office.
I know.
Yeah. Why?
So we've talked about The Office a lot on this show because Michael is going through The Office right now.
True.
And as he can tell us, and also as Michael Scott himself has told us, I'm blanking on Steve Carell's name. Steve Carell, not too long ago, said you could probably not make the show in these times because of how the environment is right now.
It's not what you would call PC in the slide.
Yeah. Part of me just really wants them to just do it on PC and see if it works. Because people watch The Office still. And like we talk about Always Sunny too. People still rewatch that. I mean, The Office made Netflix. So obviously people like these jokes. They still think they're funny. Offensive jokes work. I don't know. It's not funny if you're not offending someone. But I also saw this, like the very next, I think it was the same day actually. So I thought we'd go through this. We're at 50 worst decision in movie history from Rolling Stone.
Mickey Rooney.
I think we can add The Office to this list after we're done, but let's go this real fast. So number 50, Hugh Grant goes for a very expensive $50 drive down Sunset Boulevard. I guess you guys are too young to remember this, but did some no-no stuff. Pretty much ruined his career. No more leading roles for Hugh Grant after this. So now we see him in comedies and kids' movies. Oh. Number 49, Will Smith turns down The Matrix in Django Unchained. So bad decision for Will Smith. But I don't know if that's a bad decision for us because The Matrix, one of the greatest movies of all time.
I can't see Smith as in The Matrix. I really can't.
Yeah, as Neo.
Well, now you can understand why, because Matrix is like an unknown thing. But Quentin Tarantino comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want you to star in my movie." Why would you say no?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense at all.
Also, Sean Connery turned down the role of Morpheus. So
he was retired.
Yeah, he was retired by then.
48, Michael Bay decides he's the man to tell the story of Pearl Harbor.
That's number 48.
Have you guys seen Pearl Harbor?
Yes. A long time ago. I don't remember it very well.
That terrible movie.
Very long movie. Didn't
it's like
need to be that long.
Very long movie.
Number 47, Ernest Goes to Africa. Need to say more. So,
what was
Ernest was a thing, Michael. I'm pretty sure you don't remember him, but
I recognize the man's face.
We have fond memories of Ernest here in New Mexico because he used to do the Blake Slaughterburger commercials here.
Hey, Vern. What's going on, Vern?
46, a Catwoman movie without Michelle Pfeiffer.
I don't know. I'm okay with this one.
What do you mean? You're okay that the movie got made, or?
We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Young Thomas enjoyed Halle Berry and leather.
I guess so.
Any year-old Thomas would enjoy that, sir.
Number 45, Disney turns away from animated movies after the deaths of Walt and Roy Disney. So this is a little before our time, but I don't know if it's a bad decision because it gave us Kurt Russell. So
I'm about to say we had a lot of cool live action movies in the 60s and 70s.
Number 44, Warner Bros. Gives Kevin Costner $80 million to direct a movie about a post-apocalyptic mailman.
God, it was that much?
I think the mistake is, that in Waterworld. I think the mistake is just giving Kevin Costner action star roles.
Waterworld's great.
The man is a Western star and sports star. Don't try to put him in act. 43, Francis Ford Coppola cast his daughter Sophia in the key role in Godfather 3.
Yeah,
we pretty much know that was a bad decision. She was a better director than she is an actor. We'll say that.
Yep.
42, Idiocracy gets denied a wide release promotion.
That's not a movie. That's just a documentary.
Yeah, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah. Did you know that movie is the reason why we have Crocs?
The shoes?
Really?
Yeah. So the director wanted to come up with something.
The animals, Michael.
Yeah, the Michael. The director wanted to come up with a shoe that was stupid but actually like worked. And so he sought out like this like shoe developer, and they come up with this. He's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. The thing is, the person that got money for it made more money because they promoted the Crocs, and now Crocs are like a thing.
So maybe it was a mistake. It was a bad decision. 41, Scene in Revenge of Nerds. I guess you can. It was the 80s. It's still uncomfortable. The 80s had a lot of uncomfortable stuff in it. Number 40, William Shatner directed The Final Frontier. I mean, I guess they owed him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Leonard Nimoy got to do 4, so he got to do 5.
3 and 4. Yeah.
So Shatner's like, when is my time?
And he wrote it too.
That movie has some good stuff in them. I do like I like the scene with Bones. About his dad.
Well, anything with the 3 of them is the best part.
Yeah, I do. And then I like where they confront the God. And he's like, what does God need with the spaceship? 39, making the Hobbit movies the 3 movies.
Yeah.
They could have made them shorter.
Yeah, they were very long. I'm about to actually, because I've never seen the extended ones, so I'm about to go.
Oh my gosh!
You're gonna watch the extended ones?
I have the extended ones. Curious. They're not any better.
Michael, what are your thoughts on those movies?
Okay. To be fair, the first one's good. The second one's great. I don't remember the one in the slightest.
Yeah.
Legolas does this cool anime stuff, and it's a great
movie. But what did you say, Jared?
Legolas does this awesome like anime stuff where he's like jumping off boulders, and that's
the only thing I remember about the third one is Lee Pace jumping off like a moose, and he does like a swiping thing with his blades. Ouch! Punched my mic, and it's very cool. That's the only thing I remember.
You're not Lee Pace. You can't do that move.
That really hurt.
He doesn't have a moose.
That's true.
For me, the best part is Smog, especially how the second one ends.
Oh god, it's so good.
I love how he just flies away and it's over.
My favorite scene is still the dinner scene. That's still my favorite scene. Probably in The Hobbit, honestly.
I just want him to get out of the Shire. I hate the Shire.
Well, then you just hate hobbits, honestly.
Get out of there.
Okay, number 38.
You and your Hobbit racism.
Steven Spielberg tries to prove he can direct a comedy with 1941. No, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
It's not good. It's not good.
I heard it's bad.
It's bad.
It's got Belushi and Dan Aykroyd right there. How can you go wrong?
Many ways.
Number 37. Half of Hollywood teams up for this movie 43.
Wasn't this like a blackmail movie though on all these people?
I think that's what came out afterwards.
Is that how
years afterwards?
Yeah, like the director and producer had like not exactly blackmail, but just like coerce people into signing like these really dubious like these really like dubious contracts, and that he held on to them for like years and years and years, and then he called them all in all at once and made this terrible movie.
Why
no one saw
it? The worst movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't make good movies, I guess.
Oh, it's the Farley brother. Oh no, Farley Brothers producer Charles B. Wessler.
Yeah,
there's a tons of people in that movie, so I don't know what kind of dirt he. Number 36, Elvis Goes to Hollywood.
What?
What?
You broke up like crazy.
You are suddenly becoming AI.
Yeah.
Every time you scroll, it like doesn't keep up with it. So it's just
okay, 36. Elvis Goes to Hollywood and hits rock bottom with Kissing Cousins in 1964. So yeah, Elvis not a great actor, but we saw that movie. It kind of explained why he wasn't that good in it. But
hey, GI Blues is good. That's about the only one. So the same.
35. The MPAA begins assigning letter grades to movies, target sex above violence. I don't know if that's a mistake, because you kind of needed PG-13 in the 80s when you had guys pulling out hearts and.
If you watch like PG movies from the 80s, it's wild. Like you never know what you're gonna get.
There's like nudity and they're dropping F-bombs. So yeah, you kind of needed that that PG-13. So I don't know about Rolling Stone on this one.
Though I'm not sure why they're showing Showgirls, because that's like a NC-17 movie.
I know. 34, Michael Cimino kills the 70s auteur period with Heaven's Gate. So there's a lot of big discussion that Heaven's Gate's actually really good.
It is.
Especially if you watch the director's cut of it.
Yeah, don't watch the release version. And watch the director's cut. And what says that the director's cut's even longer. It's like 4 hours long.
It's 4 hours.
But it's an interesting movie. It really is. But
it cost a lot though. So
yeah.
Back in those days when movies cost a lot. I Can't Fight 33. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. Sewing up Deadpool's mouth in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Weirdest mistake of all time for Marvel, I guess.
That movie is a trip, man.
Let's take the goofiest character and make him the edgiest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah, terrible. We're going to 32. 20th Century Fox gives up Star Wars merchandise rights for $500,000. So yeah, maybe Fox would still be around if they had those rights, I guess.
Jesus.
But George Lucas made a ton of money for not getting paid up front. He's just like, give me the merchandise.
It's like one of the best deals ever made.
I was gonna say, like, say what you want about Lucas as a filmmaker, but man, the dude knew how to make a deal. That's for sure.
Okay, 31. The toy tries to make slavery funny. So
what?
Richard Pryor's movie. Yeah, it's basically a movie about a rich guy that buys a black guy. So
okay,
not the wisest decision. Number 30, American Beauty wins Best Picture in 1999 over about 400 better movies. So
I like that movie, though.
It's gonna be a while till we get to 1999 in our Oscar discussion.
Read these names below it: the year that gave us Fight Club, Mongolia, Matrix, Election, Office Space, South Park. Like, I don't know what this American Beauty is, but I've never heard of it compared to those movies.
Half of those aren't Best Picture winners. I'm sorry.
I mean, Fight Club.
Like Galaxy Quest would never win.
No.
I mean, I love Galaxy Quest, but I mean,
but just
the Virgin's
Fight
Suicide,
Club and the Matrix, like those two right there, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Blair Witch Project. Right. That's not a Best Picture winner. Sorry, but
29. Howard the Duck nearly kills the Marvel Cinematic Universe before it even begins.
Or does it start it?
So as a young boy... Oh, go ahead, Joe.
They should re-release that, voiced by Seth Green.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where has he been, Seth Green?
I have no idea.
Apparently, he looks really old, but still dresses like the 90s.
I think I follow him on the Instagram.
Instagram.
I did just say the Instagram. I see posts every so often, but I'm like, why aren't you in anything? I don't know. Maybe he isn't just not doing well.
Well, he was in Guardians 3.
Was he?
Yeah,
the voice of Howard the Duck.
Oh, I didn't realize. I know not. My knowledge of Howard the Duck is literally nothing. I know nothing.
Maybe the cancellation of Robot Chicken really took a lot out of him.
Probably. That was like his baby.
So for young children in the 80s, you were given this VHS of Howard the Duck, and you gave it back to your parents and said, no, this is, this is not for children.
Yes. Speaking of like PG-13, like, yeah.
Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
There are duck boobs in this. Yeah, you heard me right, Michael.
And the lady makes love to a duck.
Yep.
I mean that's nothing nowadays, Tom. Is that there's furries.
For the early 90s, Jared, it was a lot.
Okay, 28. A one that we know.
Oh my god.
Cat's experiments with digital fur.
It's not loading, and I don't want it to.
Yeah, it can't load.
Our collective best moment of our podcast.
No.
Oh, do we even need to talk about this one?
I mean,
no.
If you want our feelings on this movie, go watch the House 6 movie, The Cats.
The fur, though, is the least problematic part with this movie.
That's true.
In fact, the movie's just really bad. Oh, such a weird movie, man.
So number 27, portraying Michael Orr as a simpleton who needs to be taught football by Sandra Bullock. So, yep, that was just recently in the news because that story just keeps getting more muddled.
Yeah,
because apparently I don't know.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
Like nothing makes sense from either point.
He was like, yeah. He was like, oh, they adopted me. And they're like, no, we didn't adopt you. And so, yeah, the whole thing doesn't make sense, but bad idea. The Blind Side. Okay, number 26, Mel Gibson perpetuates anti-Semitic myths in The Passion of Christ. So, Rolling Stones, you got to know they're going to come up with some dumb takes. So,
I don't really see it as anti-Semitic.
No, they just don't know their religion. So,
I'm about to say the Pharisees are not exactly the nicest people in Judea.
And a Christian would tell you he didn't die because of the Jews; he died because of all of us. So.
Well, also, the Romans were the ones that were killing them.
Yeah. All right, 25. Alien 3 gets taken away from David Fincher. So, yeah, a lot of nerds will tell you Alien 3 was a big misstep.
This was
not a great movie. I don't really like Alien 3.
It had some cool concepts, but yeah. Oh my god, the CGI does not hold up at all. It's bad.
Really? I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's really bad.
Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Josh Whedon worked on that, right?
He wrote
he wrote the fourth one. Mm-hmm. That's even worse, to be honest with you.
Is that the one with the child?
It's
child. It's like
the human alien baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fourth one.
The human alien baby?
This one's the prison. This
is the prison one with like what's his name?
Yeah,
Charles Dance.
That does have some bad CGI. I very much conflate the rest of those movies. The only good one is the first one.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, second one, man.
No, 2 is not good.
2 is
not
a
that cheesy, lame.
The dumb. 2 has the power lifter thing. That's pretty cool, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you saying Aliens isn't good?
No, Aliens is not good. No.
It's not bad. I'm not going to say
it's not bad.
It's a little entertaining, but it's lame. Like,
I'm
The
sorry.
first is by far the best.
Yeah.
The first is a perfect movie.
If Aliens wasn't called,
agree.
if Aliens wasn't attached to Alien, it would actually be a better movie. But the fact that you follow up this awesome freaking horror sci-fi movie with this G.I. Joe stomping on aliens robot lady movie, like, no, get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
Get out of here.
You get out of here.
Such a off, weird bananas thing.
It's all James Cameron. You know how I feel about him. But number 24, Michael Myers passes away a quarter century of audience goodwill with The Love Guru.
That's such
I saw that
movie.
in at the drive-in.
What?
That's the perfect place to watch this movie, actually.
He's wearing Crocs.
He is. He's wearing Crocs.
That's a weird movie, man.
That is an odd movie.
Number 23, The Magnificent Ambersons gets butchered. Never seen it. Don't know much about it.
That is. Yeah.
Never heard
It's
of that
based
one.
on an old book. I know that. One of those, like, in the era of kind of Great Gatsby. It's probably even older than that. But this one involved Orson Welles, I guess. He directed it, but then he kind of tore it apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1918. Okay, we're losing the pictures, but okay, 22. Good Earth casts white people as Chinese farmers. I mean, yeah, not fortunate, but it was a long time ago. So
are their eyes taped back to look Chinese?
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, I think they're painted too.
Oh my.
Well, the fact that nobody's heard of this movie either. So.
I know. It didn't really hurt us much. Made it a little high on the list. Number 21, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway are handed the wrong envelope at the Academy Awards. So this was
not really their fault, but
or 2017. Yeah, not really their fault.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
La La Land.
Pretty hilarious.
What,
Yes.
dude? YMS is like Oscar doc or commentary on this is one of my favorites. Oh my god!
Can we find number 20? Here it is. Once upon a time in America,
Good lord!
You broke up like.
Isn't that buffering?
Yeah.
Yeah. The picture is buffering.
It's killing you.
20. Once upon a time in America, cut beyond recognition for its American release. Okay.
I don't even like the
heard of it.
regular cut, to be honest
Never
with you.
heard of it.
It's too long. The characters are weird, and it's kind of creepy, to be honest with you.
The characters are weird.
No, they are weird, man. Like they're just
Bunch of weirdos.
yeah.
Number 19, Whoopi Goldberg teams up with the dinosaur detective.
Oh, I forgot about.
Never saw it.
What was that movie called? I don't know. Theodore Rex.
Oh my.
Maybe we should go check it out, guys.
No.
Hidden gem.
Michael loves it. Brilliant.
10 out of 10. Liked it more than Aliens.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Number 18. Hollywood censors itself with the Hays Code. I don't think this is a mistake or a bad decision because they were going to do it anyway. Hollywood just kind of had to do it because the government would have done it otherwise, and probably would have been worse. So
Probably.
17. Gus Van Sant creates a shot-for-shot recreation of Psycho.
With Vince Vaughn.
Weird. Why?
Yeah. We don't know, Michael. It's kind of odd.
It's like the weirdest decision.
Yeah. And what's weird is that they have like the same inflections as like the original. Like almost nothing has changed, but somehow nothing works. Like nothing works.
Yeah, not a good movie.
It's Vince Vaughn. There's your answer.
Honestly, he's probably the best part of the movie. Like if I'm 100% honest,
actor, but just as
well,
Norman Bates,
there's a lot.
I don't think so.
there's a lot of people in this movie too. So it's just I don't get it. I don't understand why they did it and why it doesn't work for one thing. Because it's kind of weird because like all the inflections are the same, like how they act, and it's the same lines. but just nothing works. It's so weird.
Yeah, there've been some shot-for-shot remakes, kind of, but yeah, it's a weird decision.
This is literally shot for shot.
If a movie needed to be updated, it's definitely Cycle because that endings kind of drags on. It's kind of slow. Number 16. If we ever get it to load. Jar Jar Binks! Hey!
Oh boy. Poor Jar Jar.
Poor Liam.
Poor Jar Jar.
He looks so upset being
He's like, what am I doing? Number 15. MGM gets a teenage Judy Garland hooked on prescription pills. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, she was a young actress, very young in Wizard of Oz. And she needed some amphetamine to stay awake. So it's unfortunate.
That's not a big deal.
Not much you can say.
That's David Lynch's. I guess he would call it his muse as Judy Garland. That's what he
weird.
He died at 47.
Yeah, it's pretty young.
It was pretty cute when she was young, I'd say, because like in those old Andy Hardy movies, it was pretty cute.
Not the time to bring that up.
I don't understand why.
Pretty good looking dame.
I mean, for like movies, when you look at old movies, you're like,
Joseph, just move on, man.
When you're looking at old movies, you're not like, you usually don't say, those people. I don't get what was so great about those people. But number 14, Columbia Pictures passes on E.T. and Back to the Future and Pulp Fiction. So big mistake.
Dang.
Probably why they were bought by Sony, or they're owned by Sony now. So there's some big ones. 13, Breakfast at Tiffany casts Mickey Rooney as Japanese caricature.
Yep.
Not much to say. That just seemed to happen back then.
This is a weird choice too.
Yeah.
It was for no reason either.
Number 12, Jerry Lewis took a Holocaust funny. So
yeah, the clown.
The Holocaust funny. The famous unreleased film that, I mean, at least they had the sense not to ever release it and lock it up for. Number 11, John Travolta is allowed to make a Scientology propaganda movie.
Battlefield Earth.
That movie is terrible.
I've heard the book is great. Like really. Like, they even had like this massive audio drama production. It's like 6-7 hours long. So, whoa!
Look at old John Travolta there in the makeup.
Oh my!
They just want the gold. Oh, Roy! Yeah.
Using real untrained lions in the Mel Griffith movie Roar. I just read about this a couple weeks back. So,
have you seen Red Letter Media's video on this one, Jared?
Huh? Yeah. That's crazy.
This is crazy. It is nuts.
I would not be on that set.
So the people involved with this really love lions.
A little too much.
So they bought a bunch of lions, bought some land.
Not just lions, by the way. Lions and tigers and bears and elephants. Like
they're like, hey, let's make a movie. And the animals.
Everyone got mauled.
Yeah, animals kind of try to chomp on everybody.
Like that one lady, or no, that one guy, he got scalped completely by a lion. Like just took all his hair off.
I just love how that guy's like is pulling the lion by the scruff. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
like, he probably doesn't even feel that.
I mean, they did what they're known for, attacking things,
biting booties.
Number 9, Ronald Reagan tells the House Un-American Activities Committee that the Screen Actors Guild is full of communists. I mean, he was right.
The thing is, he's right.
Well, that's a bad decision.
And there was like a ton of spies in Hollywood too. So
they made a whole movie about it. So
Yeah. Well, like, what's that movie, Trumbo or whatever? Like, I'm sorry, but those people were like, you guys are just giving like the Soviet Union information.
yeah, so Rolling Stone again. They wouldn't be Rolling Stone without some bad takes. You should read some of their musical lists, but
Oh, those aren't lists. Those are
Number 8. Warner Bros. Loses Home Alone to Fox over a measly $3 million. That is pretty measly.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to how much money it made, yeah.
I wonder how much that like has made since it's been out. Couldn't even imagine.
$500 million on a budget of just 18 million.
Dang.
Jeez.
Crazy. Number 7, Twilight Zone movie fails to take proper safety precautions, and adult and 2 children died.
Oh God!
Yeah.
I just saw a video about
not
that.
just 2 children, but they had that guy that got decapitated as well. So
Jesus.
Yeah, helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Same crash that killed the 2 kids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
Yeah, and it's pretty big names working on that movie. I think Spielberg produced it, right?
Spielberg produced and directed one of the shorts. I forgot.
John Landis.
John Landis is the one that had the people that got killed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we get some more recent. If it will load for us.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Number 6, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller get fired from Solo midway through the production. You could just change this to Disney buys Star Wars.
Yeah.
As a bad decision. Because they've taken one of the most successful IPs and kind of thrown it down the toilet. And it was real easy. You had a nice blueprint of the expanded universe, man. You could have just...
And seriously devoted fans.
Yeah. All you had to do was put the Solo kids and Ben Skywalker in a movie, and that would have been pretty good.
Have Mara Jade be canon. There you go.
Yep. Number 5, Matt Damon turns down Avatar, including 10% on the back end.
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
That's a huge mistake.
Ouch.
That hurts.
He's like, oops.
Okay, like I was like, oh, whatever. He turns down Avatar, but I didn't know the back end part.
Jeez.
Holy crap!
Did they want him to be the Jake Sully character?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I wonder if what's got the same.
I doubt it.
Holy
Yeah, no
crap.
way.
Cost him $250 million.
That
Jesus.
He probably would have been the highest paid actor of all time.
So it conflicted with the Bourne movies. So the Bourne movie, I would say, is probably better than Avatar. But
I mean, I would too. But $250 million is that's $250 million.
Yeah. Number 4, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. We actually we did this live. Yeah, we heard the slap on one of our.
That was weird. Like that was weird because I was like scrolling through Instagram, like, what's going on right now?
Yes,
that's still such a baffling, childish situation, man. Just like, holy cow. Little playground tussle. Goodness.
Number 3, Blockbuster gets an offer to buy Netflix for $50 million in 2000 and turns it down.
That's sad.
That's an answer as well.
Yeah, we miss you, Blockbuster.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun Fridays. Going to Blockbuster.
You had to go Thursday night. Otherwise,
everything's out.
Everything's out.
Good Pickens is gone.
Yeah. Or early on Friday morning. Because, I mean, going to Blockbuster on Friday night, it's just like, well, rolling the dice here and what's left.
Number 2, Burt Reynolds turns down James Bond, The Godfather, Star Wars, Pretty Woman, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So.
James Bond?
After a while, you think he'd just be like, I'm going to say yes to the ones I'd say no
to. His agent's probably screaming at him, what are you doing?
Dude, he'd be good in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, actually. That's a good choice.
I don't know. I think Nicholson is, yeah.
I wonder if he play or if he's going to play.
Okay. The number one worst decision in Hollywood history. Racist movie The Conqueror gives its cast cancer and probably definitely kills John Wayne. So,
Yep.
yeah, that was a cursed movie.
Dang.
Yep. They all
So-
died of radiation poison.
Yeah, so they filmed this what was it, Nevada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Right
it gave-
where they dumped all the nuclear waste from
Oh my
The-
gosh.
the bomb tests.
yeah, and it killed John Wayne. Way to go.
All for a weird Genghis Khan movie that was terrible.
Oh yeah, he looks terrible as Genghis Khan.
That's insane.
He also talks like
All
in the
right.
third person too. The whole movie.
So yeah, that's what I have for this week's topic. Why don't we move to the watch list? I'll let someone go because I got to get up the box office because I forgot to get that. I always forget something. So I'll look that up while you guys are talking. Jared, you want to start us off?
Yeah, let me pull up my list. Let me get that list going, bro.
List out. Roll it out.
Okay.
across your table, man.
So of course oh my god. So of course I'll start off with YouTube. Some shout outs. Channel called That's Creepy Reading. They had a video called 12 Controversial and Disturbing Animated Movies. It was really good. And then they also have a video called Episodes of like cartoons that deal with serious issues. And I did not know Bluey, if you guys know what that is.
I just heard about this.
Dude, that
goes
a
hard.
hard show to watch,
Yeah.
man. Like, ooh.
It's like this flash animation of this like puppy child. He's like a little puppy, and they go
So
through some
cute.
serious topics.
It's very popular.
There's one about like miscarriages. There's one about
Jeez.
Dementia,
yeah, it's crazy.
but it's
Uh,
all handled really well. Like it's so well done.
And then it's just like this little Australian dog, and it's cute, but it's going through these really tough situations.
The controversy I heard was because the dad had gas, I guess, and farts a lot on this episode.
I didn't hear that.
And there was another one. What was the other one? I can't remember. Oh,
gas.
they fat shamed someone, and people were offended because they were like, "You need to lose weight." So
They're dogs.
I know they're dogs, people. They're dogs.
Dogs should not be fat. It hurts them.
Yeah, that's true.
It hurts people too.
Thomas, you
You're
can't
not
say
allowed to
that.
say that.
No, we can't. Jared, me and Jared have that right. All right, as the heavy people on this podcast.
They're gonna shut us down, even though we live through it and know better. It's weird.
And Tobe.
There's also another channel called The Try Guys. I didn't watch like a lot of their videos, but they do have videos called like Keith Eats Everything, and the one I watched was Keith Eats Everything at Cracker Barrel. It was pretty fun.
Did he die? Is Keith alive?
Did he eat
Yeah,
the
he's alive.
toys in like
He had
the waiting room?
He had some guests too to help him eat it, but
That's not fair.
I was surprised how like positive he was with Cracker Barrel's like menu. It's very rare when he was like, "This is gross." He loved the ham, which is weird. Like when you go to breakfast, you're always
I like ham for breakfast.
You either get bacon or sausage, but they were eating the ham like it was like I like ham too, but you never think to get it like at breakfast restaurants or like IHOP. This new channel I found, it's sort of new because he only has 5 videos, but he has like 40K followers. It's very impressive. I was like, wow. Talks about art. The video I started on was the worst artist of all time. He starts off with like,
Dang.
so we can't say the best.
Just talking
'cause-
trash right off the bat.
What was it
So
called?
I'm gonna go with the worst.
What was the channel called?
Polyblank. Really good stuff. And then I watched another video of his called Paintings by Serial Killers. I like that. It's not his channel isn't super serious, but he's still talking about art and like some facts behind it. So you get a little funny and you get some facts about
Hitler one of those.
Yeah, he said
okay.
He talked about Hitler stuff and then John Wayne Gacy's, and then he says there's this website where you can like buy prisoner art, and then there's this one website that shows you the art, and so you can kind of get like your feelings out on it, like, oh, what does this make you feel? And then it tells you what they're there for, and it's like, oh, this guy murdered like 4 people and 2 of them were children, and you're like, oh, okay, no.
Burned.
Really like his channel. I'm surprised. It's only 5 videos, but 40K well deserved. They're funny. And like I said, you get some facts too. That's all the YouTube I wanted to shout out. I watched 2 movies this time. I finally finished Infinity Pool. I was a huge fan of Brandon. Is it Brandon Cronenberg?
I think so.
His first film, Possessor. I thought that movie was really good. Really psychological, kind of creepy. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. This one is kind of boring. Besides like a couple like psychedelic orgies, there's not really much to it.
What are your thoughts on Mia Goth and that?
Oh, okay, so I'll talk about this movie. So, the whole premise is there's this fictional island nation that pretty wealthy people go to the resort and have a vacation and whatever rich people do. But it turns out like if you kill somebody in this nation, the family of that person has the right to kill you. But there's this loophole where if you can pay the government, they'll make a clone of you, a copy of you that the family can kill, so you don't actually have to die. So he does that. Who's this? Alexander Skarsgård. And this guy, he goes through with it because his wife's wealthy, so they're like, yeah, we'll go through with this procedure and whatever and have that happen. And the whole movie is about like, oh, is this, because there's a point where you like pass out and you wake up after the procedure. So you don't, the whole question is this the original Skarsgård or is this the copy? Kind of like the Prestige almost. And that was cool. That scene was cool. And then it's just boring for the rest of the movie. And then orgies, and you're like, rich people orgies.
He couldn't eat. He was kidding.
Yeah, I can't eat and watch nudity at the same time. You were talking about what's her name?
Mia Goth.
She was good. She's like a kind of a seductress, trying to get him to do these like terrible things, killing people and stuff like that, and going through with all these orgies and stuff like that. She does well being a seductress. She turns at one point and becomes like Harley Quinn, and it is terrible. And she's very annoying in these scenes, and I hated it. It was a really boring movie. I was expecting like some really creepy, like body horror kind of stuff. Like Possessor had that, and it's really good. I highly recommend that movie. This movie is kind of a stumble after that first one. And then
sophomore slump?
Huh?
Sophomore slump?
So
do you think he tried to do too much in this one?
I don't think he did enough, because Possessor is way more ambitious, and this one was kind of just like, oh, rich people kind of suck.
Yeah.
And they can get away with any crime they want because they're rich. You know, it was like, oh, that, I guess. But you're not really saying anything. You're just presenting that to us, which we know. It's like, I guess, dude. But you're amongst them, like you're part of this. I don't know. It's terrible. So we're kicking off the spooky month. So I was like, what's a movie I should watch? This was always on that like Bravo's 50 scariest moments or 50 best horror movies. It's called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. with a young Michael Rooker of Guardians of the Galaxy fame.
Yeah.
I guess Walking Dead too for a couple episodes. Not that good.
Really?
About a serial killer and doing serial killing. Not much of a story to it. That's pretty much it.
Captain Crunch.
He says, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. But at the beginning starts with him, like the camera's on this character's back. He's having dinner at or having breakfast at a diner. You're not sure who it is quite yet. And then when he's leaving this diner, you can buy cigarettes, which was weird to me. But it was
in the old days, you could.
Yeah, it was the 70s. So
they had these weird machines where they like pop down.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was just behind the counter. But the character orders cool cigarettes. So I was like, oh, that
definitely so killer.
Yeah, he's the murderer.
definitely a psychopath. So,
but yeah, the moment they're talking about is home invasion. It's brutal and it's like it's bad, but it's not scary. It's just like, I mean, that happens in real life. It wasn't really, I don't know. I'm not very, it just wasn't what I wanted, I guess, in a horror movie. It's more of just like true
Oh,
you can't
crime.
just shock Jared. You have to like intrigue.
You gotta disturb me. You gotta get under my skin.
You gotta be disturbed. Whatever happened to Bravo? Did he die?
Yeah, probably. But no, they didn't get bought out by one of the channels.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I watch.
Okay, cool.
But if you see someone buy cool cigarettes, you know
they're the killer.
They're not on.
They got
up and
the
up.
body in the trunk.
Yeah. You guys want to do the box office real fast?
Get them
real fast because it's kind of surprising.
Saw X.
Number 1, Paw Patrol, the mighty movie.
Yes.
All those kids, man.
Saw X, number 2.
Yeah.
The Creator, which we reviewed, number 3. The Nun 2, number 4.
What is The Blind?
The Blind. So more Barbie. I don't know what The Blind is. No more Barbie, though.
Barbie's gone.
Yay.
Oh, it's the Phil Robertson's movie from Duck Dynasty.
I have no idea what this is.
Got his own movie.
Good for him.
Weird.
All right. More watch stuff. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead,
Let's
Michael.
go now. Okay. Let's see here. Let's pull up my list here.
I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you.
You should be. We should be. Anyway.
Oh, did you give him the movie?
Yeah,
I gave him the movie.
Okay.
I tried to warn you.
We'll get.
I was gonna say it's on Tubi for free. So
is it? I watched it.
I tried to warn you, but no one was listening. So
Chaos reigns.
It's okay. We don't have to go back to Thomas' number for a little bit. The first thing we watched, we just sat down and watched randomly The Secret of Nim. Never seen it.
Alex was telling me that.
I love The Secret of
Nim.
Nim.
Animated movie by the dude that did like all the Rescuers movies and whatever, the junk, whatever. Love that animation style. So good.
It's
Weird
so
movie.
good.
It's like about sentient rats that were like studied on, and then they create societies and all these little. I don't know why the little rat or little mouse lady was like sentient too, because I don't think she was a part of that little group. But
no, she wasn't.
she just
It's just her
about The Secret of
husband.
Nim. It was a cool movie though. Very
Her
cool.
husband taught her everything.
Yeah, he was the catalyst of her knowledge.
There's a rat called Nicodemus.
I know. It was very cool though.
There's a creepy owl. Did you like that
That
owl?
owl was awesome.
Oh, pretty cool.
It's just like it reminds me a lot of like those old kind of like Ferngully movies where there's that kind of like otherworldly kind of animation, just makes you feel in awe a little bit and a little frightened. I don't know. Very much
I'm
enjoyed
surprised
that
you
movie.
guys haven't seen that. That seems like a Michael and Alex movie.
I'd only ever heard. Yeah, it really does. Because he did. Did he do Five Ghost West? Am I making that up?
Yeah.
I always mixed up. Do you remember that series called Redwall, the book series?
Yes.
Because they have like they have like mice and rats with swords. I always thought that movie was this thing, or sorry, that series was this, but it's not. It's completely different. So, yeah, because there are mice with swords.
It's very true.
The second one, something Timmy. I like it.
Something
People
Timmy?
hate it. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Ralph Macchio as the son.
Timothy Brisbane or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weirdest thing about this was on the top like 60 fall movies to watch. I was like, I don't really. I mean, I guess there's some spooks to it, but it's not really. I wouldn't label
Does it take
as,
place
I
in
think
fall?
the setting is fall, kind of.
I guess it
I
kind of
think-
is because they're getting ready to like jack up the crops and everything or whatever they're doing.
Mhm.
But I feel like that'd be more like them getting ready for. I don't know, something like that. But
I think. Wait, what was this on? What list was this on?
I don't. It's just some list I googled for
Oh.
like top Halloween movies. Fun
Oh.
because I think we're looking for a fun one. So top like fall. Fallish.
That's a
movies.
stretch.
Yeah, but say they're kind of stretching on
But-
that one.
It was fun. And then the next one we actually watched last week was It Chapter 2. I'd seen the first one. I liked the first one a lot. 2, not great.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it kind of dips.
It's like a bunch of small stories. It's like an anthology almost. They just go around, they all go back home, then they all go and have their individual little scares, and then they all go together and fight it. So there's not really any thread. They're not really together the entire time at all, opposed from the first one, which, it's like the kind of the camaraderie of all the characters getting together, everything. A lot of great acting, like Thomas Howard.
Yeah,
Bill
that's a
Hader's
good
great in it.
cast.
You got freaking James McAvoy's great in it. What's her face and the other guys, but
That's a face of the. That's a band.
and the other guys. But yeah, it just didn't hit home very well. So yeah, It Chapter 2 kind of disappointment. Then we get to Thomas's movie, which last time
Right.
we did the number picking. Thomas went first, so Thomas suggested Antichrist, which is with a Willem Dafoe and then a Charlotte Gainsbourg. It's about they're banging in the beginning in very slow motion, and their kid jumps out the window.
Yep.
And then the rest of the movie is him playing as her psychologist, trying to get her to face her fears. For some reason, she's very afraid of the woods, which she never was before. Then she goes out of the woods, and then they do a bunch of weird stuff. They cut a bunch of weird stuff. They smash a bunch of weird stuff. It's too long of a movie. It's boring and it's gross. That's about it.
Okay.
It's just so gross. Like there's no need for that. Like probably 2/3 through, I was like, this would be a really good movie if you didn't see the beginning. Like if the movie started where she wakes up after the month of being in the hospital, you're like, what is wrong with this chick? Like what the heck is going on? And I was like, oh, this movie could be saved or not saved, but I feel like it'd be a little better if you didn't know that and you had that mystery, and then you just get to the gross stuff at the end. And I was like, I mean, the massive amounts of sex throughout the whole thing is still gross because it's a little too much and weird and awkward. But then you get to the point where she's cutting off genitalia, she's smashing his genitalia, and I'm like, this is just stupid. It just
Not just smashing, but also smashing.
Yeah,
So-
it's just it was dumb. Sorry, Thomas, didn't enjoy it.
Very Lars
Lars von
movie.
Trier. Okay, quick question for Jared about this one. Where would you rank this one in his?
And his?
Yeah. 'Cause
Let me think
this,
about that while you guys talk.
this one's pretty high up for me.
Why?
Yeah, I like it. It's not great, but
Part of it is this was the first movie I ever watched by him, and then I found more of his stuff, and his stuff is pretty great. Like Dancer in the Dark is
is that him? Oh yeah, that is
Yeah,
him.
it's-
That's probably
it's-
top.
that's probably one of the best movies I've seen in a
That
long
made
time.
my jaw drop because at
Yeah.
the end, yeah,
But he also did like Melancholia. He did
I hate that movie.
But that doesn't mean this one has to be
Nymphomaniac,
good, though.
1 and 2, which is
But that doesn't mean this one has to be good. He can have good movies.
Well, no,
this one
I
can still
enjoy-
be bad.
I know, but I enjoyed this one because it interested me. Like this, I'd never seen a movie like this before. It was very odd.
It was
And-
lit really weird. Like it was like all
Yes.
super harsh lighting and everything
Well,
was dark.
So
Super
he's part of a movement in Scandinavia where he likes to break all of like filmmaking rules. Like
I can tell.
he shoots things purposely bad just to do that and try to make a whole movie out of it.
It's just like let's take the point where she cuts off her genitalia, her sensitive bits.
Yes.
We don't need that to fill the whole screen. You can just show her from the side with the scissors. You get the idea. There's no need to just whoom. There's the camera. There's what's happening.
Gotta
There's
make you uncomfortable.
There's no.
Yeah.
It's just unpleasant.
I will
Just
say,
a-
Michael, I will say that this is probably the most extreme that he gets, I think.
Mm.
Not the house that Jack.
Well, okay. Yes, but for different reasons for Jack. This one grosses you out. House that Jack built, I think, kind of horrifies you.
I just hate Melancholia. That's a terrible movie.
That one is weird.
Interesting. I've heard that movie's great.
Great, great cinematography. story's kind of odd, but
Fair enough.
But Nymphomaniac is really good. The first part is really, really, really good. Second part's kind of all right.
But yeah.
Whose turn is it next?
I'm not done yet.
I'd say Antichrist is like third. No, fourth. I forgot about Jack.
There's so much wasted time in that movie. Like I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I love the fox
5
part.
minutes straight. It's like
The fox part's awesome.
where he finds it and then it like is eating its baby.
Yeah. Chaos reigns, as Jared
then
quoted.
It says hello. Anyway, moving on from that, I was bored last night. My cousin came over. We watched 2 movies. Firstly, we watched the first Halloween. Never seen it before. Very okay.
Great.
Very okay. Right.
In the slasher rating, it's up there.
The last like third of it, I really enjoyed, but the first 2/3, I'm like,
dull.
And then Logan and I had a super. Okay, so as the whole ending scenario is coming up, he's following the 2 girls in the car as they're going to babysit, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He parks behind them. She lets out Laura, who goes off to the boys' house. Then she drives up to the corner house or the other house over there, and she gets in there. Amy does, and she gets in there with Lucy, or I think her name is. Let's also mention for a second that the fact that Bobby said, yeah, we're going to tear your clothes off, their clothes off, and then we're going to tear Lucy's clothes off. Very questionable line where he's talking about tearing the clothes off of a child. Very strange. If you rewatch it, yeah, Logan and I were like, "Did he just Lucy's the little girl, right?" Or whatever that her name was. It's very I was like, "That's not okay." Then it comes back to the very end where the detective for like 48 straight hours is staring over this bush the wrong way down the street. So the guy's like, he's at the what's his name, Myers, Mike Myers, no,
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, because anyway. And then he looks left, and the car that Michael Myers had is parked right across the street to his left. So if by that logic, he's on the same street as all the death that's been happening, the horn that's been honking, but then he walks off and he says he's been walking for 3 blocks to get to the houses. Like that doesn't make any sense. I need a map. I need an overhead map because they show the killer park here, and then she goes and drops.
Thinking way too much for a slasher.
It's a slasher movie.
The guy looks to the left, and the car's parked right there. Like that doesn't make any sense. We had a laugh about it for a while because it was pretty funny. But yeah. So Halloween, just very okay, not great.
Jared, best slasher movie. What is it?
Oh my gosh, Joel. So you asked these questions that need to be like thought about.
Okay, go on, Michael.
I just have one more. Which I didn't realize. This was a weird thing because Alex had watched it whenever he was still doing this with us. R.I.P. Alex. And you guys were like, you guys haven't seen that? And I was like, yeah, you haven't seen that? I realized I have never seen 7, which I thought I had seen.
What?
7. What? I thought I had seen it with Johnny. I was conflating with another movie. And then I realized recently, I was like, I've never seen this movie. So sat down and watched 7. Holy crap, man.
Great movie.
How has that man not gotten Batman yet? That doesn't make sense to me. And how is this movie from 1995? Like this outclasses every other like killer investigation detective movie I've ever seen, period. And it's so old. No, I mean, it's old, but like for 1995, that's crazy. This movie could have been made today and be like easily fill a place in home. Like this movie was so well done. The cinematography is incredible in this movie. Holy crap. Like Logan and I, because we literally watched Halloween, we went to Dion's, came back with a pizza, and then we watched 7. And it was like literally the first 2 minutes of the of the movie. And then like it kind of does a few introductions and talking, whatever. And Logan looks at me, he was like, you can tell the difference between what we just watched and this because we were laughing and talking through Halloween, and I didn't want to say a word that whole introduction of 7. I'm like, I agree. And then we didn't say another word the rest of the movie. It was just like, focus, man. Such a good movie. Holy
What's
cow.
in that box, dude?
That movie is so well done. Good.
So now you know
what's in the box.
Right? True. Or
so are you excited for his new movie coming out?
What is it?
Called The Killer?
Sure.
It's with Michael Fassbender.
Oh
no, we just want him to make Mindhunter. Dang it!
I think you did say that to me. But yeah, so I've finally seen 7. So that was my highlight of my watch list.
That shocks me, really.
I could have sworn because I watched a bunch of movies like that with Johnny way back in the day, and I could have sworn because I kept thinking I was like, oh yeah, that he's in that, and so that makes sense, and those are together, whatever. I was like, yeah, I've seen this for sure. I can't now. I have no idea what I watched with Johnny. I'm like, what?
I figured since you I figured since you watched Fight Club, you'd watch this one.
Yeah, but I literally thought I'd seen
much better than Fight Club.
Oh yeah, I definitely liked more.
I'm glad we're on the same page on Halloween.
Yeah, I was surprised because looking at Letterboxd, I was like, oh, Jared didn't think it was that good. It's kind of surprising. Everyone loves this movie. Then I went.
Yeah,
like,
my favorites.
I kind of agree with Jared.
My favorite slashers: Halloween and the first Friday the 13th.
Ooh, the first one.
The first one.
The mom.
Yeah, with the mom.
Yeah, first one's pretty good.
Yeah, I need to watch.
I don't like
all these movies.
Nightmare. I don't like Nightmare.
No, I've never been
like. I don't think it's scary. I think it's stupid. I really
Goofy,
do. Yeah, and people are like, oh, it's funny. I'm like, not really. It's not really funny. It's just kind of stupid.
There's a good argument to be made about Black Christmas being one of the best slashers.
Really?
Sorry, I'm going through these lists and I'm like, that's a pretty good movie.
that's a good point, sir, on the internet.
The Stepfather's pretty good. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
That one's
Wasn't there a remake?
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't as good.
It was not as good. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird remake.
Okay, Thomas, do you want to start?
Oh, was that it, Michael?
That was it. That was my last one.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So did some YouTubing. Took one of Jared's suggestions and watched SEA. Very interesting videos. The one that really stuck with me was the one about rogue planets. And
oh yeah, that one's cool.
It's kind of terrifying, actually. Like that they're just out there and they're almost unrecognizable because they're in the void of space. They're in between galaxies sometimes, in solar systems, because they're just rogue bodies that have just like drifted out of orbit.
And I like how there's celestial bodies that just disappear to scientists.
Yeah, they're gone. Like, where'd it go? We don't know.
What happened?
Yeah. But there's a lot of that. Is like, oh yeah, we were tracking this this galaxy. We can't find it anymore. It's like,
you lost the galaxy.
How did you misplace a galaxy? But yeah, like rogue planets are insane, and the fact that we've had like a few close calls, not super recent, but the fact that we've like, oh yeah, this probably passed through our solar system, in the last few hundred years. Like, oh, well, that's kind of terrifying. So, then I decided to watch Dark Star, funny enough, by John Carpenter. That was his. It's the same guy that directed Halloween and The Thing, and this was his student film that he made for UCA, I think. Weirdly enough, it's about a ship hunting down rogue planets and destroying them. So I had no clue about that. But what's really cool is that it has Dan O'Bannon in it, and he's the writer of Alien. He was actually really good friends with Carpenter. And like through a whole chain of events, like there's a whole documentary about it. Him working on Dark Star is actually how Alien got made, because of him also being involved in Jodorowsky's Dune, but that didn't get made. So he made friends with H.R. Giger, and then that's how he came up with the Alien, was talking to Giger. It's a whole other thing. It's very fascinating. But yeah, so really interesting movie. It's really funny. There's like some horror elements to it, but it's overall hilarious. Because at one point they're talking to a bomb that has like sentience. Like it's a sentient bomb. He's like, hey, I don't need you to explode right now.
A bullet
Well, that's
bill?
my purpose in life. Huh?
A bullet bill?
A bomb.
No, not quite, but pretty close actually. But yes, go ahead.
I'm stupid. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, the
Do you
first
like
one.
that the best?
That is
Yeah,
a good one.
that was the one that was like, man, this is intense.
Did you like the remake?
It wasn't bad. I don't.
Okay. I remember watching that the remake on Spike TV when I was like 12,
Mhm.
and I was like, this is actually pretty good. I'm actually enjoying
Yeah.
this movie. But anyway, oh, sorry. In Dark Star, they have a sentient bomb, and he asks it not to detonate. He's like, well, this is my purpose. He's like, well, what's your reason for detonating? He's like, it's my purpose based on, what I see. He's like, well, what you're seeing is just electronic transmissions to your or to your mind. Nothing is real. He's like, oh my God. And so the bomb has an existential crisis. And at one point, it's like, in the beginning, there was darkness, let there be light. And it like explodes. It's really good though. It's really funny. So I took the plunge and I watched The Flash, the new one.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, kind of wish I didn't see it now because
we reviewed that, right?
Michael Keaton was great though.
You guys did. I didn't. I was. This was during the summer, and I was like, I couldn't even breathe during the summer. Michael Keaton was all right. It was kind of weird to see him kind of give a good performance, but also not really care. Also at the same time, the visuals were kind of confusing, and I'm not sure why this movie cost how much it cost because this movie was a lot of money. I will say that the time travel portion, like the orb, whatever, how they travel, that was kind of interesting. I'd never seen time travel really done like that before. But nothing really made sense on like the timeline. Like I'm sorry, but nothing in this movie made sense. So, and then weirdly enough, Your Movie Sucks and The Nostalgia Critic both dropped a Flash review the moment I watched this movie, and everything that they said like reinforced what I thought about this movie. I'm like, this movie is just terrible. Like, what is going on with this movie?
Babies and microwaves.
The first scene with the babies, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, even like the explanation that they were giving is like, oh, it's in the time thing, so everything's like warped. It's like you can clearly see before he warps, the babies look not good. Like, what is that about, man?
Man.
It was just, it was bad. Then I'm continuing to watch Psych. I'm on season 7 now. Carrie Ellis is just so good in these. Like, he's so charming. He's so charming. He is like, and Michael. Oh, go ahead.
One of the best parts of the Saw franchise.
He always plays a bad guy.
It's true.
Oh, like in Twister. I always forget he's in that.
He's in Twister.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen
yeah. He gets killed by a ladder. Michael, the Twin Peaks episode is so good.
Oh my god, it is.
Like that is
so good.
That is pretty much a perfect episode. It's so freaking good.
Oh,
I just like as like someone who's like watched Twin Peaks and is like I kind of went on a David Lynch kick. I'm like, James Roday just gets David Lynch, man. He just this is a love letter to David Lynch. It's so good. There were 3 other Deadwood cameos, by the way, which I think is weird that people keep showing up from that show to interact with Lassie because he was in it. And then so both of the McPoyle brothers were in Psych, by the way, and it's kind of distracting. So I'm just saying that. And then I also went on another YouTube kick. This guy called Brandon Herrera. He's called the AK guy. He does these reviews of it's called the Darwin Awards. Basically people being like the dumbest people you can imagine handling a gun. And he's like, yep, there they go. This is terrifying. But it's great. He's got a whole series about that. And then I listened to a few episodes of the Not That Serious podcast.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
These guys are just they're so funny. Like, it's like us, but they're black. That's like the only thing I can like compare this to. Like, really.
What episodes did you watch?
I watched the one where they're talking about Xbox Live game chat for Call of Duty 2. It's just like I can't even see the jokes though, because they're like really funny, but I cannot say them. I'm like, that's pretty true though. That's exactly how it was.
There is a recent one where they're talking about kinks and fetishes, and like one of the guys is so innocent. He's like, "What?" and then the older guy is like, "Yeah, man." And it's
okay. Funny. The least offensive one I can think of is like, "How'd you know I was black?" He's like, "I can detect no father in the house." He's like, "What?" Jeez. It's so good. It's so good. So I did have a question for y'all that brought this up, because this is brought up in that podcast. Have y'all ever been knocked out by somebody?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
well, no,
No.
not a person. More
like physically?
Yeah, physically knocked out by somebody.
I got hit on the playground back in my day. Some kids are playing like dodgeball, and it bounced off the wall of the school, and then hit me in the side of the head as I was walking by, and I passed out.
Yeah,
And
I
then
got hit by a soccer ball.
So not directly by a person, no.
Dang. What about you, Michael?
I got hit by a car, so
Yeah. Doesn't remember.
it kind of took me out for a little bit.
Michael's dead.
I got hit by a wave, not a person, but a wave at the beach, and that knocked me out for a little
Dang, that's kind of scary, actually.
bit.
Drown.
I've been knocked out through a punch to the jaw that hit me like right here in the nerve. I just like dropped like a stone. And then that one wasn't too bad because you're like instantly out because you're just like you're ragdoll. But the other time I got knocked out, I got hit in the chest and I couldn't breathe. And so I was like, and I just passed out because I was like lack of breath.
Does
Hey,
diabetes count?
Yes.
That's a
No,
that's
that
a,
wasn't a person.
that's a self that's a self KO there. Yeah. I will say that having the wind knocked out of me is probably the worst one because I was conscious the whole time until I wasn't. And so I felt all that pain going through it. But I don't know. Getting hit by a car kind of trumps all that, to be honest with you.
I once
I mean, I
lost
don't
my
remember
breath.
any of it, so it's fine.
I once got the breath knocked out of me because Michael swung a hockey stick,
I remember.
and the back piece came off and hit me, and I was like, "Oh!"
Got you like right here in the throat. It was like the little like rubber end of the hockey stick, and I swung down it which way, boom, right out, right. Jared's just, it's like, I'm sorry. Oh,
But yeah,
man.
that's about all I watched besides, my random gun tuber crap. So
Anesthesia's weird because you're like,
True.
I
that
don't
is
think-
weird.
you're like, I don't think this is gonna work, and then you're
Yeah.
like,
Dude, I love the feeling of it, dude. Because I'm always like, "You're not gonna get me this time."
Power
love
through,
whatever-
power through.
I love whatever they put in you before the anesthesia goes in because you're just like, oh, hi. It's the greatest feeling.
So I didn't watch much this time, but I did. I was behind on Bleach, so I watched 3 episodes. So I get to watch 2 in dub because they caught up to me. Episodes 20, 21, and 22, I think they are. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. 3 pretty disappointing episodes.
There was one that was very disappointing, but go ahead.
The first one is your man Kipachi's back. It's disappointing. He fights this guy. I mean, the fight was kind of cool. He fights this guy. He pretty much fights SpongeBob if he was a bad guy, because he's got imagination. And
I was like, "Where are you going with this?"
Yeah, I was like,
he fights with the power of imagination. So,
But it was cool because he imagined Kenpachi so scary that it killed him.
it killed him. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool, but you were expecting a little more because, like, Kenpachi had been training.
My issue with this whole arc is like a lot of captains don't get to show off because it's like when you're playing with action figures and you just don't know like a good story, so you kind of rush and you're like, "Oh, that guy beats that guy. That guy beats that guy real fast."
So you thought he would like come back with a Bankai, but he really didn't, did he? His little lieutenant, who was adorable, she had like, I don't know if that was a Shikai or Bankai, but they were pretty
Shikai.
creepy. Yeah, they were pretty creepy. But yeah, it was just disappointing because like he lasted one fight.
Yeah.
Just like the puppy dog guy. They last one fight. So the next episode, Ichiko makes his return. Probably not as cool as that first return, if you guys remember that. It's hard to beat that one. But he does. He's all strong now, and he takes care of these 3 girls that were. They were killing Kenpachi because he was pretty worn out from the last fight. But the disappointing one about this is, as soon as Ichiko gets there, the bad guys leave.
I do like when he shoots off like Getsuga and like they're like, "Dodge," or he's like, "Dodge, you idiot!" And she just like tries to take it, and she just gets annihilated.
Yeah. So he sees Uryu and he's like, "What the heck are you doing?" Yeah.
Oh, they had a Sasuke moment. So
yeah,
bad,
it's a very Sasuke moment. Go ahead, Thomas.
Are they going to do more with the Soul King, or have they done more than they did with the manga? Because the manga was just like, well, that was
the
crap.
writer has said that he rushed that, or he didn't get to finish it.
Yeah, I know he did,
and that the anime he thinks is gonna better end it. So.
Okay.
What was it saying? Chad shows up with Orihime. So they're back.
There's a cool, like when Ichigo first hits the scene, there's a cool, like, different version of that. You know, the song that usually plays with the ladies, like, it was done by these dudes this time, and it was a cool remix.
For this arc, I like the intro. I don't like the ending, the outro.
Yeah.
The outro's pretty bad. And then the last episode, like I said, is disappointing because Ichigo's there, but the guy runs away right away, so he's got to go back to where he just was. So most of the episodes are a zombie fight between this person who has zombies and then I forget his name, but he's the scientist of Squad 13.
Aratsuchi or something like that.
Yeah, he's always been pretty cool. But yeah, he resurrects these wrong cars that I don't even remember.
It's like when they first get to Waco.
Yeah. So you think he could bring back like Grimjow because he's cool, but
no.
Yes. But yeah, that's the Bleach.
So you're not caught up.
I'm not totally caught up because I like
the one that the one I just watched.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made up for those last two episodes.
Well,
the one you're talking about.
It sounds like they're kind of fixing like the last arc.
There's some fixes.
Because like I remember reading it, I'm just like, dude, what is this? Like everything is just one is so rushed, but two is like characters are kind of like not making sense.
A lot of the fights didn't make sense either.
Yeah.
They totally cut out like this whole section with Ichigo's mom. Like in the manga, it like really delves deep into like what happened between her and Ishin. Mm-hmm. And what's his name's dad, but they kind of cut that out. They're like, that's nonsense.
Yeah, they only did like one episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then they're alluding to like some cool things with the Soul King.
I don't really hate Renji, but he did have a funny kind of line where he was talking to that guy, and he's like, "Hey, you got chicken hair, man." And he's like, "I don't have chicken hair, but."
I was gonna
chicken hair.
Weird eyebrows.
No, he's like, I was gonna say you had cool eyebrows, but not anymore. And he's like, no.
Oh, you are a good guy. Okay. Starfield, real fast. Starfield log. Met a headless person. I don't know if you guys have encountered this person. No head at all. So,
all right.
It's the headless.
So it's a diverse character. Finally representing the headless people. I'm just doing a bunch of side quests because I know
should have quit when they were ahead.
I know that ending's coming, so I'm just doing a bunch of side quests. Neon hates me because I was doing that game one, and this guy was like, "Hey, you got to pay me, or because we know you've been doing." You're with the gang, and so pay me for hush money. I'm like, I'm not paying you. So they all start shooting at me. So I took off. I ran. Now all security is shooting at me at all times. I don't have a bounty on me.
You said gang, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They still shoot at me even though I don't have a bounty. It's just like whenever I go back to the Hope Industries, they shoot at me as soon as I enter the door.
The only thing of note for me is that I went to the Reach planet, and that was pretty fun.
Oh. I
like
beat
from
it,
Halo?
So yeah. I'll save, I guess, till the games.
Next
games cast we have.
Probably in November.
I should have probably 3 games. Oh, if it's going to be November, I might have a handful of games I've beaten. Trying to clean up a little. I'm trying to clean up a little bit that
I've got one game that I played.
Dude, I need to get to Blasphemous 2. I forgot that came out.
There's a 2?
Mm-hmm.
And Persona 3, Jared, you got to play that, the remaster.
I'm not gonna get to that anytime soon.
I got 4 downloaded. After I'm done with this one, I'm gonna attempt to do 4.
Ooh, 4 is such a treat.
I've heard
That's
that, and I've watched like a ton of like videos saying like, if you really like Persona 5, you're gonna love Persona
I need
4.
to continue 4. I pull up my
That's
Vita,
great.
charged up.
But the remaster of 3, Jared, you got to get to
It's on. It's on PS5, Michael.
Yeah, but why not play it on the PS Vita?
Yeah,
Well, I did find.
I don't know.
I found out you can level up your food in Starfield. So
yeah.
It's called
food does
spices.
No, it does more health when you eat it. So
It's called
I never
flavor.
figured out.
I actually, near the end of the game, I did run out of med packs for the first time in the game, Joseph.
Dang.
It's like, I know what it's like to be Joseph, but then I looked and I had like 44 trauma packs. I was like, okay, we'll just put those in then.
80 wheels of cheese.
Man, there was this one of the pieces you find. It was terrible because there's just like, well, because you like switch between worlds, and one world has just a bunch of robots, and this other world has a bunch of creatures, and the room. There's one room you go in, it's just robots and turrets everywhere, and it's terrible. I had like 50 med packs, and they went down real fast.
Yeah, was it the one with like the locust like bugs?
Yeah, the scorpions they called them.
Yeah, and then it was like unlock the room to like turn all the turrets for you. And I had one freaking digipick left, and I clicked the wrong thing. I was like, crud. So I just I was like, well, never mind then. I'm just gonna shoot everything.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I think we all bonused out. So
wait, whose turn is it to recommend Michael?
Oh yeah, we gotta.
I believe because I said pick a number between 1 and 10. Jared, you said 3. Joe said 4. Thomas said 9. So I believe
I thought I had 3.
I said 4.
Okay, then Jared's next.
Jared's
the number was 8. So you are next.
Do you want to say it now, Jared? Or are you gonna
I know I really need to think about this because I don't want him to come at me like, "Oh, that was stupid."
Don't give me some genital snipping crazy person movie.
It's House again.
I was gonna warn you.
Wait, okay. I'd want to get a verdict though. Did you like this more than House?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I mean, it was definitely an interesting movie for sure. Like, it had aspects of interesting, like, concepts and everything, and like her just kind of like I said, if you didn't know what drove her crazy, it'd be interesting if like he was like trying to figure out like why the heck do you not want to step on grass or all that junk.
Hey Jared, what Lars von Trier movie would you recommend next for him? Because I was thinking either Dancer or
that he would enjoy.
Yeah,
Dancer in the Dark.
Preferably if that would be nice.
Dancer in the Dark is just a really good movie and not like polarizing like his other ones.
Yeah, I tried to look up online of like things about this, and people describing it online were getting it wrong. I'm like, I just watched the movie, and all these people they're like vouching for like, oh yeah, Willem Dafoe and his wife's character are traumatized by the kid's death. I'm like, he didn't seem to care in the slightest through this movie that kid died. It's like apart from the crying scene in the beginning, I'm like, so I'm gonna skip that review and not pay attention. I saw like 3 times people kept saying that. I'm like, did you guys watch the movie? He just kind of wanted to bang.
So we'll be back next time with the rest of our Ahsoka review.
True.
That's ending. And we will see you next time. Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff to come. Bye.
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 So you